All right, guys, it's Sunday. I want to talk about Friday's trade recap here and the predictions we made, and targeting all the last 2 weeks of our prediction of 424 and potential melt up higher, which is going to be 2 weekly deviation. We always predict these the day prior, or at least try to, and I'm going to link that in the description below if you want to see my last video and where I did a breakdown at the end of the day here on Thursday, giving you what was going to happen today using that fancy crystal ball we have, or at least trying to. Right? So a couple different indicators just to recap what I said in the last video. And again, if you want to check it out real quick, I will timestamp it 10 minutes, 15 seconds and edit it that way. So you just click the link, it'll go right to the prediction. You don't have to watch the whole thing. Check that out in the description. A couple of things I had said to look for, okay? And that's the 200 SMA 5-minute squeeze. So yesterday we here on this peach dash line, that's 200 SMA 5-minute. We squeezed that sucker pretty good. Did we ever come back down and test it for confirmation of support? No, definitely not. So we want a 200 catch up, right? So that brings us into a couple different cool things here. And we were still calling 424 and higher, right? And that was the melt up I called for weeks back. Go check the video. So all the predictions there lead to right here, 424, okay? And then higher, which is the weekly deviation here. And if you're a part of my group on the Discord, you would have seen where that led to and why. And we'll get into that right now. So data, non-farm payrolls. Back test of the 200 SMA. Well, let's peek real quick here where the data came in. Well, lo and behold, that bottom data candle came right into that 200 SMA 5-minute. Right? Perfect. Greatest drawing ever. Another thing I said to look for on indicators were RSI and TTM dipping into the bottom channel. So here's some lows. Then after hour, dipped into the bottom channel, went up. And I drew all this out, check the video, came back down to the zero line, dipped into the negative just a little bit and trended back up. And I said, just wait till it gets back into the top channel. If you don't know how to use these indicators, check out my playlist, please, on how to use these. Into the top channel, and TTM has 0 sell waves, no red oscillation to the downside, right? So we got this amazing little pushback up with all of our confirmation markers that we had called the day before it happened. So that's what we look for in confirmation. If this happens, that would trigger our confirmation to trade this trade. That's what we look for, right? We try not to speculate too far into something happening, then we react to that said thing happening. So the 200 SMA here worked out perfectly. The RSI top channel, no TTM and MAC, all worked out very well. And the data Fibonacci, what you have here, gave us our outstanding target. So our target's now 424, boom, and we've been calling this one for a while. You notice the fast-paced squeeze, right? Snapped right up to the 1618, and I tell my team every single time, what does the Fibonacci do after we hit a 1618? Okay, here's the high data, here's the low data on the 5-minute chart. What does that do? Pulls back down, right? Gives us a slingshot up for when we draw that Fibonacci. So anything above here, bull trend to the 1618, after it hits, pulls back to the 100, launches itself to the 2618. Obviously less probable that we make that one hit, but this one worked as well. And as long as we are trending above the golden pocket of the 3820 to the 50 Fibonacci, we are in great standing terms. We are above. We had a little dip here. That's data dependent again. So these indicators, nothing is perfect, but the little sell wave here, the little MAC cross, the little RSI into the dip, that is because of that high volatile range and rush of volume and rush of data coming in. Now, you can disregard those on the indicators. Now, this candle that I did high to low on and slingshot it up gave us the extension target. So for weeks now, I've been calling 424. Okay, that finally happened. We predicted that. Go check the videos. It's all recorded. Now, the pushback up to 264, 261.8 on a Fibonacci, that was the extension. So that data, and I told everybody, watch out, this thing is just going to force us. It's very hard to long these tops. It's not very fun to, but let's dig down right now into the 1 minute and how I decided to play this with this in the volatility index. Now, the 1 minute chart had the catch up again, and I said on the last video, 1 minute and 5 minute 200 SMA catch ups. Those are the confirmations. You don't chase these abrupt like slap up moves here on most of these until live trading comes in, right? And then you have this opportunity to go for this mega continuation push, okay? So on the 1 minute scale, we have all higher lows here in the pre. Obviously, after data, big squeeze out of the gate. You're not going to chase that up. You're going to let it hit its head on the 1618 because we did the fib here, right, on the data. So once something hits the 1618, it retraces to the 100 fib. After the 100 fib, you have a chance to break over the 1618, use that as support, continue to target 2618. Okay, that is how we use these Fibonacci's. And you can learn this from us on hundreds of video lessons here trading with us. Now, moving into the 1 minute scale. Now, the 1 minute scale, there's a couple interesting things here that led me to say, do not short anything. It's just going to force up all day. That's what we told the trade team. Now, most of these things can be seen here on the RSI, and this is the 1 minute. So that 200 SMA caught up, and let's look at the RSI. This was the only and last time on that harsh dip down where it baited shorts or baited longs into this big short fall. So it baited the longs, killed them off, all the way came down to minus, right, lower than open. And then it came to the 200 SMA 1 minute, and that was that dip, okay? Lo and behold. And then we catch the next fastest moving average, and then continued on. But something interesting about the RSI stuck out after this little trap is that we went higher and higher on the hot scale here, right? Outside of the range, outside of 70, that's pretty hard. 80 plus, 90, insane, right? And then when the RSI cooled back down and came back down in the minute chart, you notice that it never went oversold, never went oversold, never went oversold. Now, it wasn't until way later, right, that it went oversold. But notice the time in which the price action's RSI 1 minute stays in the range of the channel on the top and the bottom. So this looks like people are buying this up extremely fast because the RSI is never going cool. And look where it's spending all of its time. If I went and highlighted above and below, right, and made these boxes throughout the day, and you would see the price actions high lows, and you would notice and you would go, oh, I suppose, like, hey, they're spending a lot more time, right? You get it in the top side of the channel rather than the bottom side of the channel. Because let's say we use a different color, hide this in, the pink areas being the bottom here, we're not spending too much time at the bottom. But you can see on the top, and if we kept that yellow, these big gold boxes, we're spending a ton of time, right? That's telling you that these FOMO buyers and melt-up strategies, in which we said yesterday the melt-up could easily continue. It's not going to be the easiest to play, but definitely calling for this melt-up. We don't really have a top for it. I mean, this could go all-time highs if it wanted to, but we'll get into that in a big prediction video this week, most likely Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'm going to go for my large thesis, so tune in for that one. But this is why. So that RSI spent a ton of time at the top channel. You can notice that same with the oscillation indicators. The TTM has a ton of buy waves, no sell waves. The MAC spent almost zero time in the bottom channel. Same thing, right? So we are getting more FOMO buy. So it was all these little tiny dips were buy, 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 right? And then continuing up to our Fibonacci target. So once the 2618 hit, that was it. It consolidated sideways, setting us up for another potential FOMO squeeze. Okay. So I just wanted to get that little recap up here. I want to go to the daily chart, a longer standing time frame, show you guys where we are at, and the FOMO melt up that we had continued to watch develop here. My last standing target for this guy is like 436. And again, I'm going to get into this prediction a little bit later. I'm not going to cloud up this video of Friday's trade recap with this, but just know that we can go much, much higher. And if the shorts are really playing chicken with this, and I'll be watching all of our indicators with this, my last and final end all be all Fibonacci, which everybody should have this one. We've had it on for months and months and months, dang near half a year already. The 3820 recap. Okay. So this top right here back in August, 3820, that's the last resistance point. If we blow through, and I'm going to go in depth into this in the next video, so I'm not going to spend too much time here. This gold level, because this is our next resistance zone, okay, right here, 329.56, that's when it's going to just plow to 436. It's going to be crazy. If it starts to resist here, and finally this gives us a pullback here at the 3820 of the golden, right? This is the huge pocket. This resistance play coming down, we might go find some of those gaps in the near term, bounce back up again. But we're going to have to take that into consideration when we reach that level. Right now, the oscillation is going pretty well, and the daily chart is actually breaking out on RSI. We've been in the top channel. I mean, come on, guys, the same indicators. Look at this daily chart. Every single dip buy and every single daily chart here has been a purchase. You can tell by the indicators in the long standing. Check out our indicator videos. Look at these things. Top channel forever on the MAC. Rolled the cross, never came down. Tiny small wave on the TTM with squeeze, right? So if you measure this up, this one was funny because we called this consolidation huge gap hold. When this gap did not fill, it was game over. It was going straight up. The gap attempt, no fill consolidation to squeeze. Oh, it was so easy. Love to see those. So when this gets back up here, we will make a choice at 429.86 area, and that's going to be our next prediction video, so stay tuned. So enjoy these recaps. Get any questions, comments, concerns, I'll start checking out stocks for you guys, post them up, shoot me a comment and we'll go from there. You guys take care. We'll see you on the next.